Hi Cancer, this is Wishko the Ferret. Thanks for hopping into the Ferret Den where we're keeping things warm and we're keeping things cozy. Today we have a reading for you for May 15th to May 21st. We have a new moon in Taurus coming up on the 19th or whenever that happens for you in your time zone. So look that up if you want to capitalize on these astrological energies at this time. As always, Cancer, drop into your heart space. Let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you, which messages are for others. And as always, I would like to thank Archangel Michael for protecting me, and I would like to thank the angel guides and my spirit team for helping me connect with Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, or whoever happens to be drawn to the collective energy of Cancer at this time. So before I started this video, I did get a few messages coming through for all of the water signs, and I'm hearing specific phrases. So you don't have to, I'm hearing things like God and Lord, so you don't have to agree or synonymize. What is that the word I'm looking for? You don't need to believe in the Christian ideology in order to connect with this message, because I connect more with spirit, but for whatever reason, because I have Christian background, sometimes spirit communicates with me with Christian language, but it's not meant to be interpreted as such. So let me just say like the little stuff that came through for you water signs, and then I will get into your tarot. But it says, the Lord saves all of his prayers. So if you felt as if you have been praying, Spirit is basically saying, we're cataloging everything. We have a whole little catalog book for you. I just heard, save your tears because help is on the way. Okay, just now, save your tears because help is on the way. They're hearing your prayers and they're acknowledging like what you've been saying, either like for the, like whatever you've been praying for, whatever you've been speaking to spirit about. Every time you think something to spirit, or every time you even express a wish or a desire and you're speaking to a higher power, that can be considered as prayer. I also hear judgment is little in the divine. That was the second message that came through. There really is no judgment at all. Like the claircognizant feeling that I'm getting with this message is that they want to reassure you that there is no judgment on the other side, and like they're telling me, and basically they're telling me to communicate peace. But in order to supplement this message of the judgment being little and the divine, there's obviously some structure, because spirit and your guides want you to learn and to grow in like a spiritual sense when you're here on earth, and they want you to learn here on this earthly plane, but they are guiding you to take note of the fact that they don't express judgment. They don't have their own there are no feelings of judgment. There is absolute peace on the other side, and they're basically saying like, peace be with you, because we are also feeling peace, and we are not judging you for any of the mistakes you're making or any of the flaws that you see in yourself. So hold that compassion for yourself and understand that you are not being looked upon critically by the divine at this time, okay, or ever, because that's not what they do, and that's not how spirit conducts themselves. But anyway, now we can get into your tarot. I'm going to put this little message book away. But those are just some things that were coming through that Spirit says, like, they just told me, like, prophetic message, like the channeled messages that wanted to come through for the water signs before we started. And I wanted to make sure that got out. Okay, so let's see what we have for our Cancers for our tarot. Okay, there could be something present in your life now. I'm hearing that perhaps your intuition has felt a little offset, or something that's caused this. There's a little bit of discouragement for going forward with something that you like. Spirit is saying, like, if you have been spurred towards change, or you want to commit to something else, make sure that you are really dropping into your heart space and anchoring yourself in meditation, and see if that's really a change that you want to make. Are you making it because your intuition is inspiring you, or are you making it out of fear? Because Spirit is almost saying that perhaps you want to make a change that is kind of misdirected at this time. And this isn't saying like this is like a very specific message for some of you. So if you are not on this wavelength, that's totally fine, because usually Spirit's like, create whatever you want to create and go with it. But for those of you that are watching this video right now, for some of you, I'm getting that if you are making a change but you're wanting to make it out of fear that things aren't going to be okay, really stop and really analyze it. Take the time to sit with yourself and figure out, is this prompted by fear, or is this prompting by, I don't know, there's something about the ego wanting to spur some type of change when intuitively you're right where you need to be and just to keep going. So because abundance is in your future, it's almost like something is being created in the midst of all of this chaos, but it's almost like you want to drive away from the chaos, but being in this chaos is actually, being in this environment is going to help you sustain a better future for some reason. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. So we're starting this, we're using the Tarot of Dragons by Shawn, MacKenzie, by the way. Beautiful deck. I love it. It's in bits and pieces. But we have Eight of Pentacles here. And the Eight of Pentacles in the traditional tarot is all about consistent hard work. And that's exactly what this dragon is doing. He has all of his pentacles hanging up, everything that he's worked on. It's basically just putting in the work. Whatever you see yourself doing this week, making sure that you're putting in the work to achieve this. Let me see if I can turn on the light so that you can see these cards better, because I find that these images are not as bright, so maybe that'll help. It's daylight, so I like to let in as much natural light as possible. But, that's better. Okay, hopefully that helps. But we see all of these beautiful pentacles that are done, handing all up like a chandelier, basically. And he just keeps consistently working, and that's kind of what you're being called to do this week. Temperance is also here. It's a card of patience. It's a card of moderation as well. So if you have a goal or a project, making sure that you're not forcing it, putting all of the effort in right off the bat, because it kind of messes with your balance a little bit. And also, you would see the benefits of long, consistent effort that is kind of drawn out, rather than, you really want to take your time and put solid efforts towards what you're doing, instead of, because if you're going to overdo it, if you're over strenuous, or if you do too little, you don't want to overextend yourself, and you also don't want to not make any progress by doing nothing either. So making sure that you're putting in consistent effort, you are healing yourself when necessary. That's what the Temperance card here in this is about. Plus, when you put in that steady work over time, things need time to manifest. So when you're putting in that consistent effort, other people can share in that abundance and the work that you are putting out. So you're filling up other people's cups, so long as you are overflowing with energy that you can give, because you want to make sure you reserve some energy for yourself. And that's where that balance comes into play, is making sure that you are giving energy so long as you are receiving the energy, you are receiving something, and make sure that you can keep up with the work. So whatever efforts that you put out this week, make sure that you are taking care of yourself first and foremost, so that you have something to give, because that's where that moderation comes in. At the focal point of your reading, you have the Hanged Dragon, which is a traditional, there could be a perspective that you have right now that could use some changing. I'm hearing there's something in it that needs to be magnified if you want to continue and if you want to do better or well. But something about because intuitive, in the traditional tarot, the Hanged Dragon or the Hanged Man is it's not a cause for concern. It's just if you felt the need to switch your perspective just a little bit in order to suit future goals. So perhaps I'm just going to use an example of this YouTube channel and be okay, well, if I want to reach a certain point, then, I obviously have to post videos. So I needed to come up with a schedule in order to post something consistently. So I try to keep up with the consistency of it, and then that will produce, the consistency over time will produce results. But if I would followed my whims, I wouldn't be posting anything at all, So I had to shift my perception to view this as more of a second job for me. While I work during the day at my day job, this has been, I'm okay, well, I have I had to make myself a schedule to follow, and I had to shift my perception and really magnify the importance of it. While yes, this isn't making me any money now, but it's something that I love to do and will make me money in the future, but I have to treat it like it's making money for me now and give it the time and attention it needs to flourish. And that's kind of like an example of how I had to shift my perception, but use that and apply it to your situation however you need, because it's almost like you have dreams and visions for the future, but you need to make some changes now to accommodate those dreams and those visions and that way to move forward. So with the Hanged Man or the Hanged Dragon Cancer, that's something that, you know, like they're really magnifying a certain part of your perception now and give it greater priority or greater importance so that you can succeed with it. And we have Page of Cups here too, excuse me. Page of Cups, this is such a cute card because of the little baby dragon. But it's really, I'm hearing that this card is more for reflective purposes. So perhaps you are trying new emotional endeavors. I like the Page of Cups because we are constantly like, I'd like to think that we're trying new things, and the page is a very exploratory card, and in any suit, and usually with the cups it is in relation to an emotional endeavor. So perhaps there is someone new coming along if you're interested in love, or even if you're like looking to expand your social horizons, either by friend or finding a new business partner or something along those lines. It's like you're exploring some type of emotional investment, and this could even be something like, I'm hearing for whatever reason, like a sheer willpower or something that like needing to focus on. So perhaps you're shifting your focus this week to focus more on your relationships or your friendships in your life. And it's almost like it's serving as a mirror. So Spirit is saying specifically with this card, look at it more in terms of like the reflection. So in the pool of your relationships, your guides are helping you understand yourself better through the relationships in your life. And that's kind of the discovery that's coming out this week. You also have Ace of Wands in the Tarot of Dragons here. And what I love about the Ace of Wands is that it always indicates a new beginning. There's a lot of drive behind like a new passion or a creative endeavor that you'd like to do, or even just a new beginning of any sort. It's just fueled with a lot of passion and excitement. So that's what I love about this Ace of Wands. So that could be coming in for you as well. If you feel a sudden spark of inspiration to do something new or to do something, I'm hearing like perhaps something better. I'm hearing that there could be something that you're working with that involves a lot of trial and error. So perhaps you're feeling inspired to try this new thing. Even if it doesn't work out, you're excited to try it and see where it goes. And you're kind of like going through this spark, like you're like, okay, well, if that doesn't work, that's okay, because it's almost like you're alight with something new that perhaps you have been trialing and erroring for a while now. So, I mean, you're bound to find something that works, just throwing it out there. Like Spirit's like encouraging this trial and error, because it's through these trials and errors, it's how you learn. So this Ace of Wands coming through, and it can be a new passion or a new start for some of you. So definitely take advantage of that energy. So when you get that spark of inspiration this week, Spirit's like encouraging you. They're like, follow it, follow it, follow it. It's going to be so exciting. So let's see what your main, because we're moving away from tarot now, we're getting into oracle cards. Let's see what your main theme is for this week. Sorry, I'll let me get a drink. Okay. You have Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. Excuse me, I have to go a little drink. So with this card in particular, it is quite literally just that. It can't be any more loud and clear than just quite literally, perhaps there was a time period where you felt like you were dragging your feet and you weren't really going anywhere. And now, especially with this Ace of Wands card, I can see you picking up motion, wanting to pursue something. Perhaps now you have the motivation to do something and you're stirring up dust, because that's how fast you're going to start moving. It doesn't have to be too quick, but you are starting to move steadily towards something. And I'm hearing like Spirit kind of give you 2 thumbs up, like they're saying, great job, like great job starting. Sometimes we need those periods of rest, or we need those periods of stagnation in order to stir up that want or desire of change. Okay, so don't get me wrong, don't beat yourself up if you're somebody who doesn't like to sit in stagnation. It's something that is very clearly, I don't know, I just feel like it's all divine. So I do feel like it's kind of in your plan sometimes to just be stagnant, and that's okay. Just for something to stir up and for something new to be sparked and for something new to want to come into your existence. Okay, so Let's see what else you got. I have like 3 different decks. I think I got really excited last week because I think I did kind of something similar. Or in one of my collective readings, I just wanted to put 3 of my angel card decks together, and I just haven't separated them because I love it too much. So here we go. All of them Kyle Gray decks. We're going to pull some more oracles and then some companion cards for it. Okay. You have overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. You have air guardian, shift your perception as a companion card. Literally just said the main focus of this week was the hanged dragon and moving out of stagnation. So quite literally, as you are moving out of your stagnation, it is going to be that shift in perception that allows you to move forward and experience the overwhelm and plenty that you already have. Because overwhelm and plenty is a calling for you to recognize the abundance that you already have in your life so that you can attract more of that to you. It is like a law of attraction type of deal where you are seeing and being grateful for all of the abundance that you have. So once you recognize that, that kind of raises your vibration and matches the frequency of already having plenty so that more plenty can be attracted to you, right? So it's just getting into that mindset. I don't know if y'all saw that. I think there was a fly that just like tried to go up my nose and I think it flew away. Lord have mercy. I hate it when that happens. Oh, gross. But, sorry, y'all. I was like, oh. The Air Guardian here with Shift Your Perception, I think we already talked about it, so I won't go too in depth with it, but quite literally that's the shift in perception that you will need, especially since it's a companion card to that. Shifting your perception to the overwhelm and plenty and already feeling very gratuitous for the things that you have will help you attract more things. And it's a skill. Spirit is telling me to inform you that it is a skill. It's not something like, oh, it's like, I'm just not born with that happy-go-lucky attitude. Declaring yourself as a pessimist or realist, like, I wouldn't put yourself in a limiting box like that. Just start focusing on things that you love to do. And because I think sometimes labels and thinking too much about our status in life or thinking too much about where we're at versus where we want to be helps get us stuck in that state of lack. So indulging in things on a daily basis that help make you feel good and help make you feel plentiful. Like I surrounded myself with a lot of plants, and it was actually really cheap because like I have a pothos plant that like just, it's the gift that never stops giving. So I'm actually surrounded by lots of plentiful propagations because pothos go really fast. So, and spider plants too. I got spider plants too. So I want to acknowledge that not everybody's in like a similar situation, but looking around at the things that you do have will make you feel abundant. So even if you are not, because usually when you think of abundance, the first thing you think of is financial abundance. But finances, I'm kind of in the midst of studying this, so I can't give too much on this, but essentially what I'm starting to learn is that being grateful for the things that you can pay for. That's something that I heard from Chloe Taylor, who also picked it up from somebody else, and I can't remember, but I heard it in one of her readings, and it really sparked a change within me because I'm also shifting my perception in regards to finances and always feeling like I have lack. But once I start turning my attention to things that are abundant, it's almost like finances are a secondary form of abundance where like you notice everything that you have, and then you will start to see more opportunities for money, and you'll stop being kind of like, because usually like we don't realize that our limiting beliefs sometimes can cause us to be very flippant and turn out potential opportunities that could reward us, that could be financially rewarding later down the line. So oftentimes when we put ourselves in these limiting boxes or we tell ourselves all of the reasons why we can't do something, that can stop us actually from not only seeing the opportunities, but taking the opportunities when we do see them. Because sometimes when we're stuck in that pessimistic or realistic state and we're thinking like, oh, but you're coming up with reasons why something can't work, and like you're not going to try, and then you won't be able to see success with it. So I don't know, it's just something to think about of like Spirit is also cautioning me to say, they're like, don't ignore the issue or don't avoid the issue. So perhaps you've been avoiding doing the work for a while and you've just been consistently sticking with your, like maybe I just need to get a second job, or maybe I just need to get a better job, or just keep working, blah, blah, blah. Like keep doing, it's almost like you're like, you might be making the same decisions that you've always made instead of making a change and taking those risks. And you, again, settle with your intuition to determine which leaps of faith you want to take. Spirit's going to help support you anyway, and they will catch you every time. But you know, really settle with yourself, because like I'm not telling you to go out and do something crazy and like burn your house down or whatever. Like I know it's like a random thing, but I always want to make sure like you know, stay connected when you're saying this, and don't let me make decisions for your life. Take accountability for that part. But do whatever feels like, if I should be telling you something that is already like, if it's not resonating with you, then that part of the message is not for you, and that's okay. But if you felt like you wanted to do certain things or take certain risks, Spirit's kind of coming through to let you know, like, we got you. We got you. If it's something that maybe you've dreamt about or seen signs about and you're really not sure, discuss it with your guides and sit in meditation. Like, Spirit wants to communicate with you. They want you to start acting on your life if you're somebody who hasn't done that. Okay, but I do see forward movement for you either way. Just always make sure that it's intuitively inspired, that it's something you want to do. Keep pushing forward and try not to make these decisions out of fear, okay? So it's just like what we talked about back with the tarot. I just said, guys, deep quiet, meditation, and stillness. I just said sit with your guides in meditation. So talk about it, you know, talk about it, journal about it. Insights flow through us, through our imagination. So you can journal about it and be like, I hope I'm talking to my guides. I don't know if it's working, but if you're talking to yourself and you are like opening up that channel of information, like you sometimes, like, people do that automatic writing thing, where like the first thing that pops into their mind, they write down. And you can talk to yourself that way, because like, so I typically do mine on my Chromebook, but you can do it old fashioned on like pen and paper or whatever the case may be. Or you can just sit in meditation and stillness and in the quiet and just think about what you feel inspired to do. But either way, meditation and stillness this week, sitting in a meditative silence, or like in like calling in your guides and asking for like a simple discussion, or like whatever pops into your mind first, just kind of roll with it and see where that stream of consciousness information takes you. Paired with that, you have Shawn Master, be graceful in movement and action. So really taking your time to take things slow this week. So making sure that the action you're taking is not too rushed. It's kind of like what we were talking about with the Temperance card, making sure you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket and you're not putting forth all of the effort forward so that you don't burn out, but you're not going too slow to where you're dragging your feet either. You're being very moderate, you're moving, and the Shawn Master here, he knows, this monk knows that there's always more to learn. There is always more to learn. So it's like you have the added grace of being humble and modest throughout this process. So really just trying to withhold those attributes, like Spirit's saying, that's kind of like an attribute that you have, is allowing yourself to be graceful through this change and for acting on divine information. So you are totally capable of that, and you're working with it. You also have the farther gate, bold step forward, and you have healing energy. So for some of you, I don't know, I can't help but feel like your energy could have felt a little wrecked for one reason or another. And I'm not sure if the stagnation period was because you had gotten hurt, but there is healing energy to be found in taking this bold step forward. And this bold step forward can look different for so many people. It could be like perhaps you've been in, I don't know, one certain industry for the longest time and you want to make a profession change or a career change, and you're entering a completely different field. That in itself, that shift in itself, because you've always told yourself that you couldn't, for example, making that shift in itself could be that bold step forward for you that could help you gain that healing energy. And either way, whatever this situation looks like for you, that was just an example, but whatever you've been feeling like doing that is a bold step forward for you, it will provide healing. So, and I feel like perhaps some of you wanted to be stagnant for a while because you felt that you like, oh my gosh, I need a break. Maybe you're burnt out or something, but or maybe you're stepping away from something because you know it's apparent that something is not working for you. But the most healing thing that you can do, Spirit is saying, is making the change. Sometimes sitting in stagnation, and you've already realized this, Cancer, like you've already sat in your stagnation and you're like, I can't actually do this because it's not helping me. I'm just feeling awful about my situation. So now that it's kind of served its purpose, and now it's time to move past that. So making moves to the next thing that you feel inspired to do. It's like creeping up on you, I heard. It's been creeping up on you slowly. So now that like this change can finally like use that energy that's been creeping up on you, the good type of energy, the type that's egging you forward, that's wanting you to take that bold step in a different direction, or the direction that you've been wanting to go but you've been hesitating or blocking yourself from for so long. Spirit's like, that's going to provide you with the healing energy that you need, or that you've been seeking in this stagnation period. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the companion card, I have the start of your oracle cards was moving out of stagnation, right? So then like the angel card that I pulled to close out this little circle spread that I have is change and transition, which is meant to be a companion card of the first card. So change and transition, Archangel Azrael. Thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change. Quite literally, moving out of stagnation is propelling you towards this change. And we just talked about that. I feel like I don't need to elaborate on that anymore, except for the fact that you have an archangel energy, you have an angelic energy around you that is assisting with this change, and that's Archangel Azrael. So if you are somebody, you don't have to believe in Christianity to connect with these energies. I don't connect strongly with the Christian religion, but archangel energies are still there. They are still potent and powerful. And I remember, because when I first had my spiritual awakening, and it doesn't have to resonate with everyone, but either way, you have energies that are assisting with your change and transition. But let me tell this quick side story real quick. But when I first started my spiritual awakening, I was like I was talking with a psychic medium on like the phone. It was like the only phone reading I think I've ever done. I was very wary about like communicating with other psychics and stuff, because I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was losing my mind. I was freaking out because I was all of a sudden seeing and hearing all of these things. And she gave me so much advice, and I'm so glad I went to her. Psychic Lisa like changed my whole life. So I don't know. She probably wouldn't recognize me even if she saw this. And I don't even know what app I used or where it was at, but sending lots of healing energy to her. Love you. Thank you so much. So I hope that energy finds her in some way or another in her life. But my gratitude. But she had said something about, oh, there's an archangel you can connecting with archangels, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't really believe, like, I don't really know if I can connect with that energy. And then all of a sudden I got a very strong high-pitched ringing in both of my ears, but it was like not the normal ringing that I would get when a spirit was trying to communicate with me. It was like a very high frequency like type of ringing. It was like high frequency. It rang my head, and it damn near gave me vertigo. So definitely, I was like, okay, I can't doubt it, because the timing was just too uncanny. I was like, okay, this has to be a thing. And I felt the energy of archangels ever since when I've connected with them. So it resonates with me, but it doesn't have to resonate with you. But damn, these energies. So you also have the cards, and I also like to fill up my circle with like 2 more oracle cards for you, and then we're going to roll the angel dice for you. But you have Hollow Bone Teachability. The companion card is Take Time to Breathe. Thank you, angels. I breathe with ease knowing you're here. So this combination tells me with Teachability, Hollow Bone, we've actually had, this card has been popping out quite a lot for a lot of our... okay, sorry, something's trying to come through, and I'm not done with my thought yet. A lot of signs have gotten this card this week, and I'm hearing, for whatever reason, that a lot of readers have told you the same thing. So perhaps you're somebody that has actually been like, I don't know what it's called, like tarot hopping or cross reading or whatever the case may be, and that's totally okay. There's no judgment. Sometimes, like, I have multiple spiritual advisors that I go to on YouTube as well. So long as you're like, you know, actually developing action items and you're letting these readings inspire you, that's what I'm here for. Please don't just like binge watch everything and then just not act and just kind of sit there, because sometimes we do need that wake up call from other readers, and it offers us that peace and that solace. But so make sure you know, I always like to promote healthy use of this. Perhaps I'll post a video of how, I really do want to post a video actually of how to watch tarot on YouTube. But I really do feel like for whatever reason, there's a message coming through that other readers have actually offered guidance on this. So this is kind of like an echoing thing, or if this is the first time you're hearing this, obviously take it, you know, however it resonates with you, and that perhaps you will be seeing other messages like this one. But Spirit is saying, like, perhaps taking the time out, like, yes, there is consistent work and consistent effort needed, but there is rest to be had as well. Like, you need to sit with your soul and actually integrate the lessons that you've learned so far. So allow yourself, you like, it's almost like you need to schedule time, or like have keep like a certain time throughout the day, or maybe once a week, where you can sit and allow spirit, like quite literally sitting with the intention for, like, this is like a slightly different message, because like everyone's been getting this card, but everyone has slightly different messages with it. For you, spirit wants you to kind of sit for like maybe once a week, once a day, whatever the case may be, small amount of time to just sit and be like, allow yourself to be a vessel, allow yourself to be basically a flute, so that spirit can feed you divine information, so that you can integrate recent lessons into your soul, so that you can walk a little bit more empowered. For whatever reason, there's like a charm of safety or something that I'm not sure why that's coming through. Perhaps some of you have a charm, or perhaps like you have something like a little amulet or something. I don't know. They just said charm of safety. So however that applies to you, but they're saying that this is an act that helps keep your spiritual energy like protected and safe. Not that anything's going to come out and like possess, like, I mean, I really don't work with those things, and the more fear you feed, like, that's the dark side of mediumship and spirit communication that I don't like to get into. But in terms of like, keeping your energy protected, and like we all encounter harsh energies all the time, even with the people around us. So it actually helps ground you and keeps you in a positive vibration. And spirit is basically saying, as these lessons are being integrated into you spiritually, it is helping like protect your energy as well, because it's like, again, it's the more lessons that you learn and the more you integrate your shadow self, I feel like the more you are protected. I can't help but feel that way, and that's the message that's coming through for you. It's like, as you are communicating with the divine, it's almost like the more you communicate with those high frequencies, the more that this charm, I don't know, they're showing me a physical thing, like a red physical thing. It doesn't have to be, I don't know if it's like a ruby or if it's like a square red thing. It doesn't have to be that way for you, but it could be a metaphor of like, there is something that is like being created for you that is offering protection for you. So sitting and allowing yourself to take time to step back and breathe while allowing like your lessons to integrate is going to be very helpful in keeping your energy feeling high vibing and gratuitous, and just focusing on the gratitude and stuff. Like, it's going to be very helpful to sit with those lessons to allow spirit to just move through you like a flute. Okay, but it's basically, the teachability card is allowing yourself to be teachable, allowing yourself to be humble and modest so that this information can move through you, which does actually complement the Shaolin Master card as being graceful in movement and action. Okay, last but not least, for you Cancer, we're going to roll the angel dice and see what we got going on here. 506. Your growth is dependent on how much joy you are allowing to flow through your body and life. Let joy become something you strive to experience and share. Oh, this ties into this reading so beautifully, what we were talking about, experiencing abundance. And I always read these messages twice. Let me say it again. Your growth is dependent on how much joy you are allowing to flow through your body and life. Let joy become something you strive to experience and share. Okay, that being said, Cancer, thank you so much to you, your angel guides, and your spirit team, my angel guide spirit team, and all the energies involved for helping me channel this message. If this resonated with you in any way and you want to see more of my stuff, go ahead and like the video, because it helps the channel grow and it helps get this message out there. If you don't want to miss content from me, go ahead and subscribe, because I post weeklies. I post collectives occasionally. I will post pick-a cards. I like sprinkling a little bit of everything in there because I feel the inspirations to do many other things. And I have a Patreon launching very soon here that I have been working on for a while, and I've been trying to work out the kinks with. I've also been slowly introducing my ferret fam onto this channel. So if you're new here, I have 4 ferrets. My username is wishkotheferret. So I do love bringing my life to the channel. So I have been slowly introducing them in the community tab. So yeah, if you like my vibe, if you think I'm cool, and if you like my style, go ahead and do all the things. Leave a comment if that so resonates with you as well, because I love hearing about like you guys, where you're from, what you've been doing, how this resonates with you in any way. But I thank you for just even being here and holding the space with me. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I hope you have the best week. Bye.